Okay, so if you notice with these two gems, I used a combination of the color sticks and the colored pencils. And so again, I've used more pressure to make a darker color, and I used light pressure to make the lighter color, which would make it look like there's light shining on it. For my last one, I'm actually going to do some watercolor with this one. Now we will cut around our gems, so if you want to test out on the side of your paper, you can, because that will disappear later. I'm going to make this one down here maybe some blues and violets, sort of like an amethyst, and you can see there might be some blue violets in there or some darker purples. Like we've learned before with watercolor paint, the more paint and less water, the darker the value will be. I would think it's best to layer with your watercolors, and I can test out on the side to see what color it is before I use it. Okay, and remember that once it dries, you can always go back even before it dries and layer some more on top of it. So I'm testing out different purples, and I'm just carefully painting in that space. If I have too much water, this water might pool over into another space on my gemstone, and I don't want that because then it's not going to have the same effect. So I'm going to have more paint on my brush so you can see how much darker that is. So less water, more paint. The other technique you could use if you feel like you have too much paint is to do the blotting with your paper towel. So you would just take it, and I can see I have a little purple that went into this pink color, and just take out some of that paint. You can also layer colors. So for example, what if I wanted like a blue violet? I'm not sure what that one is. Actually, this does look like blue violet already. So maybe if I want more blue in this one, I can rinse my brush, get a little bit of that blue, and sort of add it to that purple color. Like I said, be careful though that you're not going over your edges. Now I'm looking at this and I'm thinking that's probably too much blue. I'm not sure I like that. So I'm just gonna blot that. And I want to blot this one. And then maybe I'll just add on top of that to change it, make it more purpley blue or blue violet. So as you can see, as long as you have different colors or values of that color next to it, it should look great. This is the same color I used for here, but you can tell I've added more paint, and I have less water and more paint, so now it's a different value. It's a little bit darker. And how that's really dark. One other thing you could do, if you feel like it's going to spill over, you could get a white crayon, like we did wax resist and crayon resist, and you could just draw with a white crayon around the edge, and that makes like a little barrier and a wall for the paint so it won't leak out onto the other side. Now this is pretty wet, so I would maybe need to blot it or let it dry a little bit before I take it to the drying rack, so it doesn't creep over that black line. If you feel like you have room for more jewels and you want to do more on your paper, feel free to go ahead and do that. Have fun.